Good evening, everybody. This is Nurse Eunice with Florida Training Academy, and tonight we're going to be discussing the top 20 reasons your CPR business isn't growing and what you need to do about it. So we'll get started in a few moments. I want to give you all time to join the live stream. Again, this is Nurse Eunice with Florida Training Academy, and tonight we're going to help you grow your CPR business. All right, so the number one reason that your CPR business isn't growing is the lack of marketing efforts. And it's unfortunate, but whenever you are becoming a CPR instructor, what a lot of new instructors don't know is that the CPR instructor course does not prepare you to become an instructor. The CPR instructor course teaches you policies and procedures, rules, and you learn as you go. And for some of you all, it's discouraging. And so, a little bit about my story is I didn't open up a CPR training business first. I had a medical training business first, and then I added CPR. So, I already had an audience. And so, if you don't have any marketing experience, if you don't have any previous business experience, it's going to be harder for you to grow. It's not impossible, but you're going to have to learn how to market your efforts. And if you're not promoting your CPR classes effectively, some of you all don't want to get on social media at all. That's not going to work because a lot of your audience is actually on social media. So you need to be out there. You need to be marketing. And marketing doesn't have to be expensive. It could be business cards, it can be flyers, or the quickest thing is a quick YouTube post or a quick TikTok, just something to let people know that, hey, you're available, you teach CPR, and that you love to be their CPR instructor. So that was reason number one. Reason number two is piggybacking. You have a poor online presence. You have an inadequate website or social media presence. How will people find you? Can they find you on social media? Is your profile private? So if you want people to know about you and your business, you have to be personable. You have to be found online because people, they really don't care about what you know. They like you. And if they like you, they're going to be buying from you. They'll be actually booking your classes. But if you don't have any personality, if all you do is, pretty much hide yourself because you don't want people to see you, that poor online presence is costing you business. And it's something that you need to really reconsider. Limited networking, not connecting with local schools, businesses, or community organizations. So at least twice a month, I partner with different organizations. And so this upcoming week, I'll be at a bank. I do community classes, so I'm always doing something in the community. If it's at a school, I usually go out and I teach free CPR. Why is that important? Number one is to serve my reason, my why. I'm helping to improve CPR education throughout the community. But then number two, these are people who are going to remember me. And it is, it's reciprocating. So if I come out and I do something free for a school or a community organization, more than likely, whenever they need a CPR instructor for paid courses, they're going to reach back out to me. And then I also get that business too. So please make sure that you're connecting with your schools, businesses, and other organizations within your community. And that would be one of the easiest and cheapest ways to grow your CPR business. Number four, outdated curriculum, offering outdated or unengaging CPR courses. I had one instructor who literally just wanted to press play. He didn't really want to talk. He didn't want to get up. He didn't want to interact. And needless to say, he did not stay one of our instructors for long. So if you're a boring instructor, if your classes take too long to complete, you're going to lose your audience and you're not going to be able to grow your business. Number five, high pricing, charging too much for CPR classes compared to your competitors. And you get to set your own prices. So when people ask, hey, how much should I be charging for a CPR class? One of my main questions that I'll ask is, Are you mobile or do you have a brick and mortar location? Because if you're mobile, if you're traveling, your prices should not be as high as the person who has an office location. So you need to be competitive for your area and also competitive for your business model. You can't have the highest price without a brick and mortar location. Number six, ineffective advertising, misguided or ineffective advertising campaigns. You have to actually track your analytics. If you don't know how well your Facebook campaign is doing, you probably shouldn't have a Facebook campaign. How many of those ads are actually converting to customers, to phone calls, to people who actually come into your building? So make sure you're looking at your analytics to make sure that whatever advertising methods that you are using are actually beneficial. We don't want you wasting money. Number seven, managing your negative reviews. You can't please everybody. So at some point, you're going to receive a negative review. And if I go onto Google and I look at reviews and I see a business that has 5,000 five-star reviews, I know that's not true. At some point, you're going to have a customer who is unhappy with you. And it's not that that can't happen. It's how do you as a business owner respond to that negative criticism? Do you apologize? Do you give a discount? So you want to go back and try to reclaim that customer. If they did have a bad experience, it's okay to sometimes to give a free class or to give a future class for free or give a class for free in the future. But what you don't want to do is to have that negative review, that person who's upset with you just out there spreading bad news. And then on top of that, leaving bad reviews on your websites. And if you do have those who have positive experiences, you also want to be asking them for testimonies. You need testimonies, whether it's on Facebook, on Google. I don't even know if you are aware of this, but if you go to Indeed.com, yes, the job search, if you go to Indeed.com and you have a CPR training business and someone has gotten a certification from your business, you even have a reputation on Indeed. Is it a 5-star reputation or is it a 3-star? Based upon that answer, and if you don't know, I need you to Google yourself, Google your business so you can understand your business's reputation and help grow your CPR business. Number 8, inconsistent scheduling. Oh my God, you all, it's hard to work a full-time job and be a CPR instructor, but you have to do what you have to do. But when you have irregular class schedules, it makes it hard for your students to plan their classes. So if you work 12-hour shifts, I need for you to consistently take like every Thursday off. That way, every Thursday you can have a CPR class, or maybe it's going to be a class every Saturday. But the more consistent you are with your customers, the faster your business is going to grow. So consistency counts, and inconsistent scheduling means that that customer is just going to leave you and call the next CPR instructor. Number 9, the lack of specialized courses. Not offering specialized CPR courses tailored to specific industries or groups, or not offering different courses and or different CPR brands. If you notice for this entire presentation, I haven't even told you the brand of CPR that I teach because that's not important. When my customers call me, I help to determine what CPR course they need, what brand of CPR they need based on their industry. So we provide customized or specialized CPR courses. If it's a daycare center, they may not need American Heart. There are some cheaper options for a daycare center who only need CPR and AED or pediatric CPR and AED. So it's really important for you to offer a spectrum of classes and different brands of CPR. And if your CPR business ever slows down, if you can add an additional course, whatever it is that you're passionate about, add that to your schedule so that when one pillar or one thing decreases, like your CPR classes, maybe you can fall back and teach something else on the side. All right, so next, number 10, subpar instructor quality. So instructors lacking passion, skills, or engaging teaching methods, not utilizing technology, and not establishing yourself as a content expert. Look, when you're in front of those students, you can't mimic me. You can, but they're going to know it's not authentic. So I need for you to find your true passion. What is your why? So the reason why I teach CPR courses is because of patient safety and also to reduce those healthcare disparities. Because I know that if someone who is brown or black goes into a hospital, they're already less likely, based on research, not my opinion, they're less likely to receive the type of care that they need. Sometimes our pain complaints go without treatment. And so now that person's in cardiac arrest. And we want to make sure, I want to make sure that those patients who are unable to speak for themselves, that they're going to be receiving the best quality care from those who were trained properly in CPR. And so that is one of my whys. And so when you're teaching your CPR courses, if you don't know the reason why you're up there doing it, if you're just doing it for $1, you're not going to be passionate about it. And so think of your why. And that way, when business slows down, if you remember your why, that should hopefully motivate you to get back out there and to keep teaching. Now, establish yourself as a content expert. If you type in Google and type in CPR video, more than likely you're going to see my brown face because I have established myself as a content expert. I'm a nurse. I've taught CPR now for the last 14 years. I've been a business owner for the last 16 years. And prior to that, I was, of course, a nurse, but I had my backing in ICU telemetry. So I've always been a cardiac nurse. And I took what I loved about working with a team of other healthcare providers and brought that into a classroom. And so that made me a content expert. I didn't have to be a cardiologist. I didn't have to just study the heart. I could be a nurse. And so if you're educated, if you're a teacher, if you're passionate about something and you learn it and you're the best at teaching it, that would make you stand out in your field. So if you haven't really read your CPR book, if you haven't read your BLS book, but you're trying to be a CPR instructor, that means that some of your students have more knowledge than you, and that's not good. So make sure you go back and you read your materials. Next, poor location, unfavorable or inaccessible class locations. Look, I get it. You have a business where you have a business where you can afford to have one. But just because it may be hard for a student to find, whenever they get to it, make sure that you have refreshments. Make sure you have some bottles of water, some food, some nice music playing. Make sure it smells good and that is welcoming. So even if you can't afford this huge location, make what you have work. And so whenever students come in, if they feel comfortable, they're going to let others know about the experience. And they're going to say, yeah, it's kind of hard to find, but once you get there, she's going to take good care of you. Number 12, ignorance of market needs. You're not adapting your courses to meet the needs of the local community, and you're not advertising differently to different customer types. Oh my. So imagine me mostly training nurses and now taking the same marketing materials that I used to train medical professionals and taking it into a military base. Now I have to train these government contractors. No, those are two different audiences. And so those different audience requires me to dress differently. One, I'm going to probably have on some khakis and a polo top. The other one is probably going to be okay for me to wear my medical uniform. But you have to know how to market. And marketing isn't just a business card. It's also how you present yourself. So whenever you're creating your materials that you're going to be passing out, think about those different audiences. And if you're marketing to a daycare center, nothing on that flyer should look like anything that's related to a hospital. If you're marketing to a doctor's office, well, that shouldn't look like anything that you're going to use to market to a warehouse. And so it may be a little bit of extra work on your part, but it's definitely worth it to have different marketing tools for your different customer types. Number 13, limited partnerships. You are not collaborating with healthcare providers, gyms, or other relevant businesses. You all get your butts out there and go network. I was at a business meeting with government contractors at the Port Authority. So we have a port here, Jacksonville Port Authority. And I just stood up, I introduced myself, my 30-second elevator pitch. Hello, my name is Eunice. I'm the instructor you need to know. I come to your job sites and I provide CPR classes in the mornings, afternoons, and or evenings in order to make sure that your staff is safe and certified. And I got a 2-year contract to train contractors just from that pitch. So if you're not going out, if you're not partnering, if you're not going into those hard to reach areas such as warehouses, bases, different type of installations, I need you to be considering that, because that can be a contract that can take 2 or 3 years, and that can actually feed you and your family. So if you're really interested in growing your CPR business, I need you to think outside the box. No referral program. All right, so you're missing out on potential students by not incentivizing referrals. Are you giving discount codes when you call agencies and let them know about your CPR business? Are you also saying things like, hey, we'll give your group, your employees, a $5 discount. This is the promo code. Whenever they call in, just say code blah, 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 and we'll automatically give them $5 off. So having something like that, an agency may have 100 employees, and then they're going to get new hires. But if they know they can contact you and their employees get a discount, well, you have incentivized them to keep calling you, to keep sending more customers, more students. And if you're not actually tracking email addresses, there is no way you're going to have repeat customers, because I can guarantee that in 2 years, that customer is not going to remember your name if you haven't emailed them, if you haven't let them know that you're still in business. So make sure you're also tracking those email addresses too. Insufficient facilities. You all inadequate equipment or facilities for CPR training. You cannot have one CPR mannequin while you're trying to teach 6 people. The ratio is 1 mannequin per 3 people, but most adults don't want to share equipment anyway. So the max that we do at our facility is 1 mannequin per a table of 2. So if you don't have adequate equipment, you probably just want to use what you have and have smaller classes until you can actually grow your business and buy more equipment in the future. Number 16, failure to follow up. Not following up with past students or renewals or additional training. You're not answering the phone, you're not returning emails, and you're not responding to comments on social media. I get so many phone calls from those who are at the beach. We're a good 15, 20 miles away from the beach. No one at the beach in Jacksonville is answering the phones. So guess what? We get those customers too. So if you are in an area and you are the known CPR instructor, but no one can reach you, you're going to be losing business. So make sure you have a designated phone line for your business, and or if you cannot answer your messages, respond, send them a text message. Most everybody receives text messages, and that way you can let them know that you'll contact them as soon as you can. Number 17, ignoring online reviews. No, now we already kind of addressed this one. We're not going to ignore those reviews. If someone gives us some bad feedback, we're going to actually listen to what your customer's saying, because your customer's not always wrong, and not everyone is attacking you. Your customer could actually be right, and you may need to make some changes to your classroom or the way that you teach your classes. For example, maybe your room's too cold, or maybe it was too loud when they were testing. Listen to their concerns, apologize. So actually acknowledge that that wasn't your best day, apologize, and then give them some type of incentive to come back again, such as a $5 discount or maybe a free class in the future. Number 18, no differentiation. So failing to differentiate yourself from your competitors in terms of quality or offerings, trying to be like other instructors or CPR companies, and not emphasizing your unicorn traits. You can't be like everybody else. So if you are a CPR instructor and you're just starting off and you're confused, what are your characteristics? What are your qualities? Maybe you play tennis. That would be a great place to go out and teach CPR. So you can be the CPR for the tennis team. Think about those athletic teams. Think about those cheerleaders. So you don't have to be the CPR instructor that the nurses and the doctors use. Every professional, every organization needs a CPR instructor. And so I want you to find your unicorn trait. Who do you mesh with best? And that is who initially you're going to be advertising to. Lack of innovation, not keeping up with industry trends or advancements. Look, you all, even before the pandemic, we were online. And so, no, we can't necessarily do remote CPR courses because our students need equipment with feedback devices. However, what I am doing is I'm making sure that if we ever have to go on lockdown again, I know how to use this technology. I can teach my classes. I can do what I need to do in order to make sure that my family still has a source of income through the use of technology. And I can get online and I can still teach. So if you're not utilizing technology to your best interest in order to grow your business, in order to market your business, in order to teach your classes, you need to consider how to do that. And then number 20, what some of you all hate to do is you hate to ask for help. Again, when I started off, I said that the CPR instructor course does not teach you how to run a CPR business. The CPR instructor course teaches you rules and regulations. So if you want to know how to run, how to scale your business, I want you to consider hiring a mentor. And of course, I mentor instructors throughout the nation. I have instructors as far as Africa. So if you're looking for an instructor, trainer, or if you want to take an instructor development course, my name is Nurse Eunice with Florida Training Academy. I've been a registered nurse now for 25 years. I've also been an American Heart Association Training Center faculty member for over a decade. That means that in addition to teaching CPR, BLS, ACLS, and PALS courses, I also train the instructors who teach those courses. And so I would love to have you on my team. And again, it's nurseeunice.com and fltraining.com. And don't forget to go to nurseeunice.com to receive your free downloadable sample business plan. And it also has the slides from this presentation. So I wish you all much success. Grow those businesses. Do not give up and give yourself room to grow. Rome was not built overnight, and most instructors don't break even for at least 6 months. So if you're just starting off, it's okay to start slowly. Your business is going to grow as long as you're consistent and you follow the steps that I mentioned in this video. Have a great day, everybody.